when it comes to Liverpool and how their title challenge has dropped off. What's been the key element to that? Why do you think that it's happened like that for them?
It sounds really blunt, but the fact that they just haven't been good enough, and I don't think they've been good enough all the way through. I think they were absolutely extracting the maximum out of all of their abilities, Jurgen Klopp, the players, to be where they were. You know, their performance levels weren't at the level of Arsenal or City, and you just thought every single week that they were sort of hanging on in there, but in the end it's just caught up with them. I still think it's been a really good season. If you said at the start of the season to me that Liverpool will be third, I didn't predict them to be third. I didn't predict them to go as close as they have. It's disappointing, obviously, for all Liverpool fans that it has obviously dropped away, not just in the league but in other competitions as well. But I think at the start of the season, if you reflect upon where we thought Liverpool would be this season, I'd say they've done pretty well.
I think you said a few weeks ago as well, overachieving when it came to Liverpool, and the fact that they've got Champions League football before the season's finished as well says a lot.
It does, and I think that when you think about the rebuilt a whole midfield, settling young, immature players in up front in the sense that they're still growing. Like I say, I think there's a lot of work to do on those players that have come into the squad. Jurgen Klopp obviously leaves. That's the biggest challenge for Liverpool in replacing him. And not just his sort of quality and ability as a manager, but his personality and sort of the way in which he inspires this stadium. But yeah, I think it's been a good season for Liverpool, and the sort of great challenge for them now is to make sure that they get next season right with a new manager.
How do they build on this then and ensure that they've got more potential to last the distance in a title race with a new man coming in?
Well, anytime you've had one of the sort of great managers leave in the Premier League, it has been challenging at sort of Arsenal and Manchester United, the two great examples. It'll be interesting to see how Manchester City cope when Pep Guardiola finally decides to leave. Liverpool have got this now with Jurgen Klopp. They've brought in a serious management team. If you think about sort of bringing back all the people that were there before, if you like, they've got a lot of experience behind the scenes. They're very stable. The ownership's stable. So Arne Slot's sort of the main contender. Looks like he's going to be appointed the manager. They've got to get him in as quickly as possible, get their recruitment right, which they normally do here, and settle things down as quickly as possible at the start of next season and make sure they've got a full pre-season working together well.
Where do you see Spurs at? Because in some ways, I suppose, their challenge for the top four has gone similar to Liverpool's title challenge.
Do you know something? It's turned sour a little bit in the last couple of weeks, hasn't it? And there's been a sort of, Ange Postecoglou's looked a little more animated. I still think it's been a really good season for Spurs. I mean, I never expected them to be anywhere near where they've been and play the football that they've played. I think they've been brilliant to watch. I think they've been fantastic in terms of sort of their position just generally overall. Obviously, again, if you mention where we thought they were going to be at the start of the season, I didn't think they would be where they are. They're going to finish fifth, it looks like, barring a miracle, and I think that's a very good season. The disappointment for them would be that obviously with Arsenal and City going out of the Champions League at the quarter-final phase, that fifth space is not going to be a Champions League space, or else everyone would be sat here saying what a season it's been for Spurs.
Does Ange come across as someone who's a little disappointed at the moment? We heard him last week and talking about his message not getting across to the players, and then he's spoken this week as well about the need for change within that squad and that there are going to be players leaving. Yeah,
look, to be honest with you, I think he's quite clearly disappointed with some of the performance levels of the players, maybe even some of their attitude. He would never expose them. He would never come and tell us. He's very humble in interviews where he puts it all on himself, to the point whereby the other night Patrick Davison kept asking him again and again and again, well, what is it you've done wrong? And I think he wasn't sort of smelling the fact that, I think Andrew was trying to send a message that he was taking responsibility. But I think when a manager interviews like that, it's pretty obvious that he's disappointed and upset with what's going on beneath him. The players have just dipped quite a bit in the last few weeks, and they're going to get tested still because they've got a couple of difficult games left, which what Spurs don't want in this last couple of weeks is some embarrassments. And I think obviously Liverpool's the type of place where that could happen. Obviously they play City in a couple of weeks, well, amongst the other games they've got. So I think they just need to get to the end of the season in fifth place, and we all need to recognise that this has been one of the best Tottenham seasons that I've seen in terms of quality of football and the connection between the fans and the manager and the players being built back again.
What you also see, I think, is Ange's ambition for the football club. He's going to do his utmost to ensure that this is not going to be a one-off. They're going to be challenging season after season after season for Champions League football.
Yeah, and what I hope about Tottenham in this next sort of 3, 4, 5 years is that they've not won a trophy forever anyway. So what they've now finally got is a manager who fits the football club. So just buy into him. It will be bumpy along the way. There will be difficult moments. There might be points whereby he's not even in fifth in the league. He might be sixth and seventh. But if you like the football, you like the style, it's been drab at Spurs for 4, 5, 6 years. All right, they've finished in decent positions. Mauricio Pochettino had a fantastic style of play, and then it got pretty desperate separate and bad, I think, for a time, whereby it sort of was a disconnection between the style that the fans expect and not just the style that the fans expect, but the way in which the manager of Spurs is. The manager of Tottenham Hotspur should have a character, a personality that fits that club. They've got the perfect person for that. So invest in him, give him the players that he wants. He plays sensational football. Yeah, there will be ups and downs with that style of football, but work on it together and recognise what you've got. And I think that they should really be happy with what they've got on the pitch and off the pitch, because they've got two amazing facilities in the training ground and the stadium.
And as we mentioned, Liverpool are losing a manager with personality, and he knows a few things about ups and downs. Most recently, of course, that row with Mo Salah, but don't expect it to have any lasting damage, do you?
What, Jurgen Klopp leaving?
Jurgen Klopp, no, the row that he had with Mo Salah. I'm expecting Mo to come back to the starting lineup today.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they've been through so much together. The bigger problem would be if Jurgen Klopp was staying. I think that would be a bigger problem in the sense of, obviously, if there is a little bit of a fallout. Well, because it's coming to an end in a couple of weeks, they've been through so much together. They've been good for each other. So I would expect that, to be fair, it's fine and they'll get on with it and they'll respect the work that they've done for each other and how they've built each other over the last 5, 6, 7 years.